Gaethje. 26 wins, 5 losses, 20 KOs. The dude fucking KOs people. Early on, he'd calf kick the fuck out of people. He'd calf kick people where they couldn't take it anymore. He had many TKOs from calf kicks alone. The guy is just a dense, fucking built for fighting. 37 years old now.
You witnessed what happened to Michael Chandler. That power is absolutely real.
Ways he earned it. Justin Gaethje's fought all these fucking monsters his whole goddamn career. Edson Barbosa, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Khabib, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, Fiziev twice, Dustin Poirier again, Max Holloway. Like, holy shit. He's fought the elite. So I'd love to see Justin Gaethje get it done. If I had to put, if someone gave me $10,000 to bet with, and they said, hey, put it on who you think's going to win. God. It's 60-40. 60-40. 40% chance that just
Gaethje has dropped fighters with that devastating left hook. He's crumpled opponents with his right hand too. Pimblett needed to stay alert every second. Against Justin Gaethje, you're always one shot away from disaster. Gaethje sits there waiting for the perfect moment to unleash either a crushing left hook or duck low and fire off that right hand. After their war at UFC 34, Pimblett got rushed straight to the hospital. He absorbed everything from 5 rounds of absolute carnage while his opponent Justin Gaethje walked away from that same brutal fight like nothing happened. Trust me, I've survived countless wars, Gaethje said, without missing a beat. The contrast between Pimblett's immediate medical attention and Gaethje's casual dismissal was jaw-dropping. This wasn't just about winning, it showed exactly how differently these two fighters handled punishment. Gaethje shrugged off potential injuries even as medical staff stood ready to treat him. This highlighted the real physical toll mostly absorbed by his opponent. The massive difference in recovery really hit home, making fans question the true cost of victory.
Maybe. Gaethje, he's well-rounded everywhere.
Pimblett gets caught clean on the jaw or chin, there's a solid 40% chance he goes down. It's this wild, unpredictable style. His chin stays exposed constantly. Before throwing a single strike, Pimblett landed a verbal haymaker. At the weigh-ins, he declared with ice-cold confidence, "I'm knocking this guy out tomorrow." Those weren't empty words setting up drama. What shocked everyone was Pimblett's unwavering commitment to that promise. Even after getting dropped twice, he kept hunting for that knockout shot, showing an almost obsessive dedication to his goal. This went beyond trash talk. It became his entire game plan, a psychological mission statement. Watching this side of Pimblett was rare, a fighter willing to chase the finish at all costs, defying expectations through pure determination.
More, you could see he's coming to his own. Confidence-wise, but he's improved. His striking has improved. But he loves to strike. That's what's going to make this fight really interesting and good. They're both, for the most part, they're both going to strike.
You need to maximize what works when you're the smaller fighter. There are moments when you face a boxer where movement becomes everything. Setting traps becomes crucial. He definitely has those tools in his arsenal. Outsmart and ant-move Pimblett, though he has been getting better.
Youth might be served here, but I think the over-under is like
2.5 rounds.
How many?
2.5 rounds over minus 150.
Hey, listen, again, we have a pretty good record here, but, you know, I mess up once in a while. Well, it's gambling. But I like the over. I like the over. I mean, if Gaethje fights the perfect fight, you never know. You never know. But I know who the judges are probably favoring. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. There shouldn't be anything about that. It should just be about what goes on in the cage or in the ring. But I see. So maybe, you know, Gaethje would really have to do a job, I think, to get it, which he could. But I think I probably favor Pimblett a little bit. But at the end of the day, if I had to put my bucks down.
What stunned everyone was discovering Pimblett's incredible chin durability. Before this vicious night, nobody really grasped how much punishment his jaw could handle. He ate combinations that would crumble most fighters, yet kept standing and pressing forward like an absolute warrior in there. Commentators sat speechless, completely rethinking their entire understanding of his toughness. This went way beyond standard durability. It was pure stubborn refusal to break against Gaethje's legendary power. This forever changed how people viewed Pimblett's ability to absorb damage, an absolutely remarkable display of heart.
Paddy
Because if he can eat it, I can see Paddy catching Gaethje and maybe almost like a Oliveira fight, you know, catch Gaethje, hurt Gaethje wobble, and then, you know, get to Gaethje's back or something, maybe subtle. You know what I mean? Like, Paddy is very well rounded. You know, he out wrestled wrestlers, he out grappled grapplers. He stands with you. You know, he doesn't care. He throws. You know, everybody be like, his chin is in the air. He takes shots. Yeah, he takes shots and he still walk forward. How long will that last? We don't know. And that's the question I have to this fight. Or what his reaction is going to be when Justin Gaethje catches him. Because Justin Gaethje punches like a truck. He kicks like a freaking donkey.
Looking back at the result, fans dissect every moment, comparing the actual fight against all those expert predictions. Before the bout, analysts were completely divided, creating fascinating pre-fight storylines. Some backed Pimblett's flowing, unpredictable movement, convinced it would control the octagon. Others believed Justin's precise, calculated striking and famous power would eventually give him the decisive advantage. This sharp split between expert opinions amplified the anticipation, transforming this into more than just a fight. It became a massive test of combat analysis, everyone eager to see which vision matched the chaotic reality, showcasing just how divided expert opinions really were.
For me, this is a flip up, bro. I'm not surprised if any of these guys win, because I can see two clear paths to these guys winning. I can see Gaethje catching Paddy, you know, putting him down, finishing him. Then I can see Pimblett catching Paddy, Pimblett catching Gaethje, maybe knock him out or hurt him enough to where he can get a submission. You know, I think so. Paramount, the UFC did a really great really great job of putting this first Paramount card together. From the main card, the first main card fight, to the main event is sick. It's gonna be action packed, and you fans are gonna love it. You know, the new fans are gonna love it. I mean, Gaethje is just violence. Paddy Pimblett doesn't run away from violence. It's gonna be a fun fight. Like I said, I don't know who to choose. I'm not choosing no one. I see both guys. I think this is a coin flip. I think whoever can endure the more damage is gonna win this one.
One sharp analyst focused on Justin Gaethje's systematic approach to inflicting damage. He saw Gaethje as relentless force, breaking down opponents slowly but surely. Those calf kicks against opponents weren't random strikes, they were surgical weapons designed to cripple. And once his rival's legs got compromised, their movement became limited. Gaethje's already dangerous hands became even more lethal. This calculated approach turned every kick into setup work, each leg strike into bait for devastating punches. Gaethje showed a deliberate blueprint for systematic destruction, displaying his precise and brutal mastery inside the cage.
That being said, let me get to the keys of victory for both these guys. From the keys of victory, Paddy Pimblett has got to be dynamic. We're starting to see Paddy Pimblett become more comfortable inside the octagon. So the key victory number one for Paddy Pimblett is be dynamic, meaning that if Justin Gaethje puts you against the cage, don't be scared to do a flying triangle. If Justin
attempts to take a crap, go on.
Does that, he's able to turn it into something that. Key victory number two, grapple. You know, when you look at Justin Gaethje's past fight, when people grapple him that have a good grappling ability, where people, you know,
he shot across the gap, pounding with it. Then they identified Pimblett's biggest weakness, a dangerous habit woven into his aggressive rushes. When Pimblett pressed forward hard, throwing combinations, these moments left his chin dangerously exposed. Justin Gaethje, a fighter who needs very little opening, would capitalize immediately. The prediction was Gaethje would wait patiently, set his feet, and counter with devastating power during exactly those moments. The situation was terrifying. Pimblett's own offense, his primary weapon, becoming his greatest vulnerability against a counterpunching assassin, showing the razor-thin margin between offense and defense in the octagon, a critical tactical flaw. When facing him, one expert fully understood how to counter Justin Gaethje's highlight reel aggression. He recalled Gaethje's crushing efficiency, his ability for dropping opponents with that left hook and right hand. The breakdown covered Gaethje's signature moves, loading up and firing a left hook or ducking low and launching a devastating right hand. These weren't just punches, they were finishing weapons, delivered with precision and bone-crushing force. His knockout resume, including Michael Chandler, provided brutal proof. This highlighted the immediate, constant danger facing Pimblett, a walking powerbomb ready to explode any moment. However, the expert's prediction shifted toward the later round. As the fight wore on, moving past early fireworks, he leaned slightly toward Pimblett. His logic was that longer fights often devolved into messy scrambles, territory where Pimblett's grappling background would shine. If Justin Gaethje found himself on his back, trapped in a wrestling exchange, a long, grueling night awaited the striker. This strategic shift highlighted the layered nature of this matchup, suggesting that as rounds progressed, the fight might increasingly favor Pimblett's unique skill set, a subtle but significant threat. Justin Gaethje's incredible level of opposition throughout his career left the analyst nearly speechless. He rattled off a murderer's row of elite opponents: Edson Barboza, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Khabib, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway. This wasn't just a fighter, this was a warrior who consistently tested himself against the absolute elite. The expert passionately stated his desire for Gaethje to capture the title, emphasizing that Justin had earned it through a career defined by brutal wars and relentless trial. His deep respect for Gaethje's difficult journey added emotion to the pre-fight analysis. Yet despite his admiration for Gaethje, the expert made a bold prediction. Given $10,000 to wager, he would bet on a 60-40 split, favoring Pimblett. Gaethje, in his estimation, had only a 40% chance of knocking Pimblett out, mainly if he connected during one of Pimblett's forward rushes. He saw the likelier scenario, a 60% chance that Justin would struggle landing clean on Pimblett's chin due to his awkward, elusive style. If Pimblett managed to get Justin down, it would spell a long night for the striker, a surprisingly definitive prediction from an experienced analyst. Another expert viewed the fight through a different lens, focusing less on Gaethje's aggression and more on intelligent control. In his view, Justin's path to victory lay not in trading shots, but in smart fighting, solid footwork, precise striking, and establishing favorable positions. He believed Gaethje should be the tactician, outthinking and outmaneuvering Pimblett rather than engaging in a wild brawl. This perspective painted a more cerebral Gaethje, a fighter capable of dismantling opponents with technique over raw power, advocating for a departure from his usual slugging style, a tactical masterclass. The same analyst also noted Pimblett's impressive evolution over recent years. He saw a fighter who had significantly improved, appearing more mature, composed, and confident in his identity. Pimblett's striking game showed major enhancement, however. A key concern was Pimblett's continued tendency to stand and bang when unnecessary, a strategic choice potentially costly against a precision striker like Gaethje. This paradox of improved striking, coupled with willingness for potentially dangerous exchanges, made Pimblett a fascinating yet risky proposition, showcasing his growth and inherent fighting nature. Considering the balance of youth and veteran wisdom, the analyst indicated a slight preference for Pimblett. He recognized that youth and momentum often emerged in later rounds, giving younger developing fighters advantages as rounds advanced. While not dismissing Justin's constant threat, he felt Pimblett had more room for growth within the fight, adapting and finding solutions as the contest unfolded. This perspective led him to expect a longer affair, one where Pimblett would eventually secure victory, though never easily. It was a measured yet confident endorsement of Pimblett's ability to outlast and outthink. Max Holloway, an elite fighter and analyst, pinpointed a crucial requirement for Pimblett's success. If he can take it, Holloway believed if Pimblett absorbed Justin's power shots without breaking, the fight's trajectory could completely shift. He envisioned Pimblett not just surviving, but actively connecting with Gaethje in exchanges, hurting him and then capitalizing. This could mean taking Gaethje's back or creating a critical scramble, turning adversity into opportunity for control or even a finish. It provided a clear path to victory for Pimblett, though entirely dependent on his chin and heart, a massive risk. On the flip side, Max Holloway also recognized Justin Gaethje's singular intimidating advantage. He only needed one clean opening. Gaethje's power, Holloway emphasized, changed fights instantly. He described Justin as a fighter who inflicted damage through every avenue, hands, feet, every strike carrying fight-ending potential. Holloway was certain that once these landed clean, the bout could end before Pimblett had any chance to establish rhythm. rhythm or implement strategy. This underscored the perpetual explosive danger that Gaethje carried in every exchange, making each moment a potential catastrophe for his opponent, a testament to his reputation. One veteran fighter, known for his relentless fighting style, considered the highly anticipated matchup a complete coin flip. In his assessment, there were two distinct paths to victory, with no middle ground. Either Justin Gaethje would absolutely demolish Pimblett, delivering crushing punishment and achieving a brutal stoppage, or Pimblett would somehow survive enough to turn the tables, swinging the fight decisively his way. Ultimately, he believed the winner would be determined not just by skill, but by whoever could absorb more damage. This raw fundamental assessment highlighted the deep unpredictability and violent nature of this pairing. Demetrious Johnson, a legend, precisely outlined Pimblett's key elements for victory. He stressed the need for Pimblett to stay busy and constantly initiate grappling exchanges. Johnson specifically noted that Justin Gaethje, when caught in scrambles, often became slightly lost, creating vital submission opportunities. He referenced previous instances where grapplers like Charles Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov exploited Gaethje's vulnerabilities, suggesting Pimblett possessed similar grappling skills that could pose serious problems. It was a detailed tactical roadmap for Pimblett, targeting a known weakness in Gaethje's impressive arsenal. Even while acknowledging the obvious gap in elite competition experience, Demetrious Johnson refused to see it as a deciding factor. He maintained that Pimblett's win, regardless of opponent's fame, demonstrated real skill, particularly in how he handled opponents once fights hit the ground. Johnson firmly believed that Pimblett's grappling excellence would translate regardless of his opponent's pedigree, since technique and timing trumped reputation when submissions were locked up. This perspective challenged the traditional notion of experience conquering all, instead emphasizing pure quality of skill and execution in ground fighting. A truly bold statement, Demetrious Johnson ultimately picked Pimblett, crediting his edge to freshness and preparation. He thought Pimblett's less frequent fight schedule was a clear advantage, giving his body enough time to fully recover and ensuring he returned hungrier with each appearance. Johnson theorized that rested and creatively thinking grapplers like Pimblett would definitely create major problems for someone primarily preferring striking battles. A fighter like Justin, this evaluation suggested that strategic timing and peak physical condition might be the understated yet decisive weapons in Pimblett's arsenal, tipping the scales. Alexander Volkanovski, from a realistic perspective, saw this as a true test of Pimblett's evolution rather than mere speculation. He admitted he no longer doubted Pimblett after watching his increasingly smarter fighting performances. Volkanovski stressed the enormous challenge of surviving 5 full rounds against Justin Gaethje, acknowledging Gaethje's relentless pressure. Still, despite this intimidating obstacle, he ultimately chose Pimblett. Volkanovski respected Pimblett's proven ability to defy expectations and stick to a disciplined plan, carefully noting the outcome depended entirely on Pimblett maintaining that discipline as fatigue, pressure, and Gaethje's late-round surges kicked in. Dan Hardy, offering a practical perspective, heavily favored Justin, particularly regarding the grappling threat. He didn't consider Pimblett's submissions revolutionary or surprising. Hardy pointed out that Pimblett's finishes often came from basic positions and standard chokes, techniques Justin Gaethje had undoubtedly seen in years of preparation. From Hardy's view, this wasn't a situation where Justin would be caught off guard. His entire professional career had forced him to regularly drill defenses against exactly these attacks. This realistic assessment removed any mystery around Pimblett's ground game, framing it as an obstacle Gaethje was perfectly equipped to handle. Dan Hardy also examined Justin's tactical mindset, noting that Gaethje consistently chose paths that drained his opponents, never himself. He believed Justin understood early that grappling through tough rounds burned too much energy, shaping his approach, staying upright and relying on his devastating power. This strategic method aligned with another analyst's assessment, who also favored Justin by focusing on striking advantages.